Hey, what's going on, everyone? AMR back again with another tier list. So in this one, I think I'm actually going to be taking on the toppings on a pizza. So it's something that I kind of wanted to do for a while. I know there's hot debates out there of like, what's the best topping that could go on a pizza. My fiance is very adamant on the whole pineapple belongs on pizza. I'm not as adamant on it, if you will say, but as always, if you like today's content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Helps out the channel a ton, but let's go ahead and get into the important stuff. So first off, we have bacon. Bacon is a pretty tough topping to go over here. So bacon is one of those toppings where I don't think that I am going to choose it if I only have 2 toppings to go for. However, that being said, if there's 3 toppings, I really do think that bacon does qualify for that third piece. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the not first choice, but gonna still eat it. So I think it's worth pausing the video really quick and talking about the different categories that I have here. So the S tier typically is just gonna be like the necessity. You can't have a pizza without this topping, in my opinion. Then the second one will be worth paying extra for another topping, given like, okay, let's say you only have a 1 topping pizza, but this is worth paying the extra 50 cents per topping or whatever. And then for our third category over here, we have not first choice, but still gonna eat the pizza. So that could mean a wide plethora of different things. I mean, with that in mind, I think that my bacon would actually be going up into here. You know, it doesn't quite fit into that category where I'm still gonna eat the pizza, because that's kind of how I feel it. The fourth one is I will have a slice maybe, meaning like only if I'm really hungry am I gonna go for it, but if it's just sitting out and like it's got anchovies on it or something, I'm probably gonna stay away. And then the last one is that doesn't belong on a pizza. Like there's no reason for that to be on a pizza. But yeah, so bacon is gonna go up into the worth paying extra for another topping category, in my personal opinion. So next up, I think that this is steak, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like steak, and that's what we're gonna go with anyway. Okay, so steak, I personally am probably just gonna put that down here. I don't really feel like steak has any business being on a pizza. I think if anything, that just like increases your chances to like possibly choke on the pizza altogether. There's definitely certain spots like, dude, like a burrito bowl at Chipotle, definitely steak is a good like option to be putting in there. But on a pizza has so many options to go over. I just think that you're going to be paying more for the steak as is, because it's going to be a more pricey topping anyway. So it just really isn't worth it in my eyes, you know? So we have bell pepper. So bell pepper, I think, can fall into this category where, you know, it's not my first choice, but I'm still going to eat the pizza in general. Like my grandfather is really into the Masterpiece pizza, which has like black olives and like bell peppers, onions, all kinds of stuff on it. Basically the kitchen sink. So I kind of grew up on it. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, and really it is dependent on how the bell pepper is prepared. Like if they're soggy, it's really going to ruin the pizza. If they're kind of fresh and got that little crunch to it, definitely a little bit better in my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and leave it up there in the, it's not my first choice, but still going to eat the pizza in general, you know, like let's be honest. Next up, we have broccoli. I mean, are you a psychopath? Like, this is not... I don't think I've ever seen in my entire life broccoli on a pizza. I'm really trying to think hard here, and I see that it's served with a lemon. I mean, that definitely increases your chances to, like, make it somewhat enjoyable. But, I mean, what else are you going to put on there? Like, fish? Like, come on, don't be a weirdo. Next up, we have extra cheese. So I think in certain categories that where they have like a multi-cheese pizza where like really you're just trying to get cheesy, you know, then it's not my first choice. But that being said, if I'm in the right mood for it, I definitely would be worth paying up for a second cheese to make it a multi-cheese pizza. Get the really stringy slices. That's what I'm talking about. It makes me think of like Goofy the movie when they got that sloppy like slices of cheese. Oh my god, so good. I personally probably would only do this on the rarest occasions to pay extra for cheese, because it already comes like on a bread piece. Like it's already served like as a dough with cheese melted on top. Like, do you really need more cheese on top? Sometimes you do though, you know. Next up we have, it looks like tomatoes. All right, so hear me out on this one. I don't like just like raw ass tomatoes. I think that they're a little too juicy. There's certain parts of a tomato, like when it's cut in half and, you know, like it's got like that exposed like pits kind of, it's almost like a Swiss cheese type look to it. There's certain parts on the inside where it's kind of like slimy and seedy. If you get the wrong piece of that in the slice of cheese or in the slice of pizza, you almost feel like it's like a slimy texture. As you can tell, I maybe have one slice. It's definitely not my first choice, and I probably am not going to eat the pizza like 2-3 normal size like helpings for myself. If it has tomato on it, I would do it in the rarest occasions where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the mood for it, whatever. If it's like a taco pizza, I'm not paying extra for it. It's not going on my regulars, and like I'm probably not going to eat more than a slice of it if I do. Next up, we have chicken. Ooh, chicken, I'm going to go ahead and put in the, it's worth paying extra for the topping. Now, hear me out on this one. I think that chicken kind of falls in that category where if like you want a barbecue chicken pizza, like you're really getting barbecue pizza with chicken on it. Those are like really only two things that are going on the pizza. In that case, I definitely think chicken belongs on the slice of pizza. It is like a specific type of pizza that it goes with. I personally like that pizza quite a bit. I don't go to the restaurant very often and order it though. Like if it's around, I'm definitely going to have multi slices of it. I think that it definitely serves a purpose. However, all that being said, it's not a necessity for me, and I don't think it's quite worthy of being bumped down here. That's why I'm just going to leave it right in the same category as like paying extra for cheese, bacon, chicken, all kind of in that same threshold. Corn, who made this tier list? Because have you ever seen corn on a pizza before? I don't think I've ever seen, I would try it. I'm not going to lie. And for the reason that like I've never tried it, I'm going to go ahead and put it down here. But that being said, corn, bruh, you don't need corn on a pizza. Let's be for real right now. It's not going to make it any healthier, trust me. This looks like crab. Hold on. Okay, you bougie AF if you got crab on a pizza. So I think I'm going to put it in, I'll have a slice maybe, just because I think that this is one of those times where like, yeah, we kind of want to try that actually. I like crab a lot. I like pizza a lot. And I think that the two might actually have a weird type of connection of being good together. And it's definitely worth having that one slice. And if you like it, for sure, maybe up here. But that's going to be an expensive pizza putting crab. Maybe it's like imitation crab at that point. And it knocks down the price a little bit, but if you're gonna get it from like a chain type of restaurant, be very careful. I don't know what type of quality of crab you're getting, so be cautious there. Eggplant, dude, come on! Like, how adventurous are people getting with making these pizzas, dude? Eggplant on a pizza. You have all the choices to go for on a pizza, and you're going almost an eggplant. You're a psycho. Don't ever do that. Jalapenos, I'm gonna put it right there, right next to bell pepper. I think that they both kind of suit a specific purpose in mind. The bell pepper and the jalapeno, definitely I have to be in the mood for. I'm not gonna pay extra for them. That's 100% true. But if it does add a little bit of flair to the pizza or whatever, then I'll for sure go ahead and have multiple slices of it, especially if it's spicy, then you kind of have to keep eating it so that way you don't get the spice effect. But yeah, I think that I definitely have more than one slice of it. Peppers to me are not a deterrent. They're not a tomato by any means, but they're not made for everyone. Again, this tier list is based on my personal experiences, so that could very well be different for you. Next up, we got mushrooms. So I think mushrooms are kind of in that category where it's like, depending on the mood that I'm in, I'll pay extra for a mushroom. And it really is dependent on the type of mushroom. If you get some like real soggy mushrooms, that could really kind of ruin a pizza, so you need to be careful there. Now, I personally like the ones where they're not fresh out of the like carton that they come in. They're like sauteed just a little bit, so they still got a little bit of that crunch to them. I like a crunch, but I don't know, like your teeth don't go like straight through it. But it's also not like tofu texture. You know what I mean? I typically like mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms by themselves, but I mean, who does? But I definitely think that mushrooms they belong on a pizza. And of course, if I'm in the right mood, putting a little like sausage and mushroom pepperoni pizza, I mean, now we're talking. Let's do some things. Next up, we got some black olives. Black olives, in my opinion, belong down here as they don't belong on a pizza. However, my grandpa would put them like freaking up here. Dude loves black olives. I'm going to put them right there. I'll have a slice of his masterpiece pizza, and then really it is good for like one slice, having like a variety. If you have a sausage and pepperoni pizza, you've eaten like 2 slices of that, and then you look over and you're like, oh, you know, I could use a little variety. Then I think that it's actually like somewhat sufficient. On the grand scale though, you are never catching me ordering a 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch of a masterpiece pizza, because black olives to me are pretty freaking disgusting. I pick them out of my Olive Garden salads all the time and toss them. Next up, we got onions. So onions, I'm also gonna put in the category of, I mean, they're not my first choice, but I'm still gonna eat the pizza. I mean, let's be for real here. Like, onions are good. Again, it kind of falls in that category of like the mushroom texture. If they're too well done, then it's kind of slimy. If they're not well done enough, then they're almost like too crunchy and they dominate the flavor of the overall pizza. But I mean, realistically, onions are a very common topping that happens in pizza, as we know today. So definitely not going to be my first choice. I don't think I'm going to pay extra for them. But all that being said, onions are very good in certain types of pizza mixtures. Next up, we got pepperoni. In my personal opinion, the GOAT in pizza toppings. If I have the choice to go to the store and get a single topping pizza, I think I'm walking out of there with a pepperoni pizza. Pepperoni, for whatever reason, I mean, you're already making a poor choice by eating pizza to begin with, because it is just so... It's so fattening, it has a lot of calories, and then the pepperoni, like, I'm never gonna eat pepperoni by itself. That's not a meat of choice by any means. It's a very greasy type of oily meat. And so to put that on top of a pizza, which is already greasy, it's like you're not really doing any harm. Like, and it is very good. For whatever reason, if you get the pepperoni to have like that little type of crunch around the outside, where like the pepperoni almost kind of like, whatever this is, you know, like where it raises up on the outside, it's got a little bit of crunch and you bite it out. Real good. Next up, we got pineapple. Pineapple I'm gonna put in, I will have a slice maybe. So I typically don't like pineapple on pizza just because I think it's a little too sweet for me. I like pineapple and I like pizza, but together, for whatever reason, it just feels a little too much. I think that pineapples are very juicy and pizzas are more saucy, so then it feels like you're kind of eating like juicy sauce, and that to me kind of ruins the pizza. Plus it has a very different type of taste than what a normal pizza would have, and that just like throws my taste buds in a spiral. Some people like live for that, my fiance included. She is a avid pineappler on pizza. Not me. I think I'll have a slice, but again, I have to be in the mood for it. So next up here, it looks like we have potatoes. I mean, who in their right mind is going to put a potato on a pizza? Do you know? I mean, you'd be like this. That would be a mouthful of starch. Oh my God. Why don't you just make a sandwich out of it? Take the dough from the underside of the pizza and then put another one on top, and then you just have a nice big old pizza. I mean, it's a calzone. That's what that is. I'm dumb. Anyway, moving on. So we have sausage. Sausage is a necessity. So in my eyes, if there's a 2-topping pizza, bing, bong, right there. Pepperoni pizza, sausage pizza, hand in hand. If there can be only one, I think that you have to put the sausage in here because it is definitely worth paying extra for. However, most places do have some type of a cheaper option for a 2-topping pizza. It is, in my eyes, one of the best toppings, but I just can't get there as far as putting it in front of pepperoni. Next up, it's spinach. So you guys are actually going to find this one pretty strange for me. I'm going to put spinach up here. Reason being, I know I'm not doing this for like a wow factor or anything like that. Trust me. There's a place back in Michigan City, Indiana, where my parents are from and where I grew up. And it's called Joselsimo's Pizza. And they have a Popeye pizza, which is essentially 2 types of cheeses melted in a calzone that has spinach in it as well. So it's a spinach and cheese pizza. I'm telling you, one of the best freaking pieces of pizza you will have in your whole life. I have had spinach outside of the Popeyes. It doesn't hit, you know, it's not quite as good. And I feel like outside of that one experience of having the Popeyes pizza to go off of, spinach is probably not where it is right now on this category. And if it's like an open face pizza, I think like it's probably more down like here or here. But just, dude, having that experience of having the Popeyes pizza, I mean, it's so good. But so here's the tier list that we have. We have pepperoni and sausage both being a necessity. Bacon, it looks like some other type of cheese. Let's just go ahead and call that Parmesan. Chicken, mushroom, and spinach in the next category. Pretty much peppers and onions in the middle. And then dog shit down below. I'm not even going to talk about most of these. But as always, if you like today's content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel quite a bit. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!